In a Silent Way, Miles Davis. I bought this album for about £1 from the Cancer Research charity shop in High Wycombe. I knew nothing about it, and looking at the cover, which is a picture of him wearing a suit, I expected it either to be like the Miles Davis classic Kind of Blue, or the kind of jazz he had played with his jazz quintet. But listening to this album, my first thought was, how did I not know about this? In the late 60s, Miles Davis wanted to appeal more to rock fans. He encouraged his keyboard players to go electric, and he started to appear at rock festivals like the Isle of Wight. He dropped the suits and the shirts and the ties, and he started to try to look more like Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone. But rather than just make a rock version of jazz, he released an album of quite experimental and challenging music that was neither jazz or rock. That album was called Bitches Brew and was one of the most successful he ever made. Bitches Brew is an album I found to be a bit of a challenge. I worked at understanding it. I read about it and watched YouTube clips, and now I listen to it quite regularly when I'm in the mood for something a bit different. What I did not know was that before making Bitches Brew, he made In a Silent Way, and it is almost the opposite to Bitches Brew. It is very easy to listen to, and it features many of the same musicians he used on Bitches Brew. It was also created by editing jams, so they obviously chose the sections that were easiest on the ears. In places it features John McLaughlin on guitar, and in places it is Miles Davis's trumpet which is the lead instrument, but much of it is keyboard-led rhythmic vamping. It is a more obvious combination of jazz and rock. It features musicians who would go on to create jazz fusion. If you are a rock fan wanting to get into Miles Davis, this is definitely the best place to start. It is always sweet but never bland, interesting but never showy-offy. Miles Davis was sometimes an excellent trumpeter playing with jazz or classical ensembles, or he was sometimes a pioneering artist, pushing the boundaries, often beyond what his audience expected or wanted. But this is probably a perfect album. It is a jazz album for people who don't like jazz. Miles Davis, In a Silent Way.